What is up, vegans and carnivores? I am just a simple new type, and in this episode we are going to explore the mouth-watering delicacies of Ramba Ral's favorite treats as we dive into the gag manga, RalMeshi. This follows our hero, Ramba Ral, who is an ace pilot who also works at the nightclub, Club Eden. However, when the nightclub is silent and Ral is left to his own devices, he does what he knows best. RalMeshi is food in which you are free from persecution or judgment, where you can eat till your heart's content. Let's not waste any time and let's get into this. Club Eden is Ramba Ral's home away from home, a quiet little place to relax. After the place closes, Ramba goes to work fixing himself something good. He opens the fridge to find camembert cheese, pork belly, fried rice. He could work with this. He finally chops up some green onions. Ral takes a little bit of sesame oil and lightly pan fries the onions and garlic until golden brown. This fragrance. You would think that he loves the smell, but he in fact hates it. Make sure to cut thick slices of pork belly and pan fry on medium to low heat. He adds the rice and continuously stirs. Always be stirring your fried rice. He adds a little bit of oil, salt, and pepper to taste. It is finished. He stares at it intently. He knows he shouldn't be eating like this late at night, but he says it is a high-risk, high-reward game that he is playing. He looks down to see the camembert cheese. He was going to eat it as a snack with some alcohol later, but it looks so lonely. The cheese is cold, so very, very cold. He will warm it up with his heart and the microwave. He cracks an egg on it and puts it on the rice dish. He calls it the late-night whole camembert crispy bacon fried rice. He pours himself a beer. Ral hesitates, but then takes a bite. He can't stop. He then cracks into the cheese. The yolk of the egg runs down the rice, creating a medley of flavors. The meal was so good that he had to break out a cigarette. Damn, that meal was better than sex. Crowley Hammond comes to the club and goes, "What the hell? This place is dirty." He cleaned up, but then made a mess cooking his crispy rice. Hammond tells him that he needs to watch how he eats. Ramba Ral is a simple man. He sees bacon, he eats bacon. Sometime later, the club closes up for the night and Ramba Ral gets a yearning. No, it is something else. It is hunger. He has been having a hankering for a hamburger recently, but he can't leave the club just yet. He looks inside the fridge to find some takeout labeled "Do not eat, Clamp only." Clamp was a bartender at Club Eden during Gundam Origin. He was a former Musno military forces member and eventually joined Zeon with Ramba Ral in the original series. I think this is the guy who almost blew up Kika. He unwraps it to find a tiny slider. He goes to take a bite, but hesitates. He doesn't want it to be over in one bite. He looks over to a gift that a customer left behind. It is a Matryoshka doll of Degwanzabi. He opens the Matryoshka doll to find a tinier Giranzabi. This gives him an idea for a new recipe. He decides to build on this meal. He preps the ingredients. This time, we are working with lettuce, pickles, a tomato, ground beef, an egg, sliced cheese, breadcrumbs, a bun, and the hamburger. Start with the breadcrumbs. Add the egg and the ground beef and form your burger. Bro uses the entirety of what looks like a 1-pound package. He's going big. He gives it a nice sear.
I'm getting more of a seared bite.
Then add some water and cover it with the lid to steam it a little bit. While that is going on, he preps the veggies. The burger is done. He puts it all together to form the Matryoshka burger. He put the tiny burger inside the big burger. He pairs this meal with a coffee or black tea. I'm not sure. He tries to take a bite, but it is too tall. He is struggling to find an entry point to take the bite. He apologizes to the burger and proceeds to smash it into a smaller form. He takes a bite and is in heaven. It is a waterfall of meat. He looks at the burger and thanks it for its services. He caps the meal off with a little bit of goof whiskey. What a great meal, but he has to clean up before Hammond returns. But it is too late. She is already back and sees the mess. She treats the situation like Ramba Ral just got caught cheating with his pants down, but is kind of cool with it. This makes him even more embarrassed. It is Tuesday and Club Eden is closed for the day. He hears something whispering in his ears. It is the sound of the piano. No, it is the sound of something frying in his head. He knows what must be done. It is time to cook. He sees what he has to work with. We have frozen takoyaki, instant ramen, a bag of potato chips, pickles, potato salad, corned beef, avocados, and butter. Most of the ingredients are junk food, but his soul is telling him that he must fry, so he's going to make it work. First, he crushes the potato chips, creating a breadcrumb. He begins frying everything. It is finished. He makes sure he has a beer to wash down all the fried goodness. The first skewer he tries is corned beef with potato salad. Not bad. The next one he tries is the takoyaki sprinkled with crushed ramen. The MSG packet was albacore flavor, and he added a little bit to give it some umami. It is crispy on the outside and chewy on the inside. He crushes the remaining skewers and downs the beer. This is the face of a man who ate way too much, but it is not over. He looks down to see that he forgot to use the butter. He takes the whole butter and dips it in some crushed ramen to add the outer crust and throws it in the fryer. He calls it the forbidden skewer. He takes a bite. It melts in his mouth. He looks down to the pool of butter. Is it crying for him? He regrets his actions but praises the flavor. As he eats what remains of the fried butter, Hammond walks in on him. Ral is setting up a campsite. This is his time away from the club, or as he puts it, he is in his own private cockpit. As he boils water, he whittles a piece of wood into a whisk. A book titled Mobile Suit Training falls on his foot. As it gets cold, he starts a fire. It is time to cook. Today is a simple meal. He is taking a pre-cooked packet of GUNDAM beef and, instead of having it over rice, he is putting it on a sandwich. He pan-fries it to get it nice and toasty. Ral burns his hand trying to pick up the grilled sandwich. He puts the sandwich to his mouth. This is nice. Some would say satisfying. Ramba Ral isn't one of those people. His hunger has not been subsided. He whips out a Tupperware container to reveal a concoction that is tartar sauce and beni shoga, which is pickled ginger. He smears it all over the remains of his toasted sando. He takes a bite. It is rich with hints of beni shoga. Nope, he hates it. He pops open a bottle of sake to wash it all down. As he enjoys the moment, he gets too drunk and passes out. An explosion goes off in the distance, but he doesn't seem to notice. Ramba Ral is back at Club Eden after his break. After a hard day's work, he has a hunger, and today, that hunger desires meat. He wonders if he should make that dish. He whips out some pork cutlet, some chicken, and some roast beef. Chicken, pig, and cow, all in one place. He thinly slices the pork and mixes a marinade consisting of mirin and soy sauce with a splash of water. He throws the sauce in the pan with the chicken to give it a fry. He makes oyakadan with the chicken, which is a chicken and egg rice bowl. But he doesn't just stop at chicken. He adds the beef and the pork to make it the ultimate don. The Sanren Seidan, or the chicken beef pork triple star rice bowl. It is glorious. He starts with the cutlet first. It permeates in his stomach. He goes for the beef next. The chewy texture is perfect. The marinade consists of soy sauce with pariah leaves. He follows it up with the chicken. It is so fluffy from the eggs. He has finally reached the rice. Ral decides to pop the runny egg. The yolk runs down the meat and into the rice. This changes everything. He refers to this technique as the meat jet stream attack. He devours the rest and tops it off with a little bit of whiskey on the rocks. Today was a victory, or so he thought. Crowley Hammond walks in and Ramba Ral realizes he was supposed to share this meal. Today was a defeat. Club Eden is currently closed as Ramba Ral spends the evening giving the floors a good scrub. It is time for a break. And with that comes a snack. He puts something in the microwave and waits graciously. He pulls out a block of toast. Ral pipes some pastry cream to the hot toast. But if you do that in real life, your pastry cream will just melt. You gotta let your pastry cool. He tops it with strawberries and bananas. He then douses it with maple syrup. It is done. He calls it the whole loaf French toast. That's cheating though, because a typical Japanese whole loaf is half the size of a Western loaf. I need to make the American equivalent of this. He takes a bite. The sheer volume of what he is working with is unbearable. He loses himself in his indulgences and takes a step back. His mouth is full of sugar. He drinks a cup of coffee. The bitterness of the caffeine contrasts with the sweetness. He takes a bite, then takes a sip of coffee once again. As he gets halfway through, he whips out some ice cream and says this is where the fun begins. He adds 3 scoops, nothing more, nothing less. This new combination is overwhelming. The warmth of the toast mixed with the cold ice cream is heavenly. All of this is too much for Ramba Ral as he is succumbing to food coma. His mission for cleaning the floors has ended in failure. Hammond walks in looking at him in disappointment. And that will do it for this episode and our first dive into RalMeshi. The concept of RalMeshi seems like an open and honest approach to loving food, but by the end you realize it is just an excuse for Ramba Ral to eat the trashiest foods as possible. Dude eats like a stoner. We've all been there, but he seems to go there a lot. Who knows when I return to this manga, but when I do, you're damn right I'm going to make one of these recipes. Each chapter ends with how to make the dish. Which RalMeshi dish would you eat? Next up on the menu, Ral will create a pasta dish. He will also indulge in the Zeta Max yakisoba, and he also gets down on a bagel. But that will do it for now, new types. Remember to only engage in RalMeshi once a week. Any more will cause a lot of acid reflux. Peace.